Aesthetic Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, and this is Randy.
Hello again. It's like a Christmas edition, right? Or do we have one more before Christmas?
Oh my God, you're right. It's coming. Christmas is coming, dude. And we're doing a podcast anyway, dude, because we don't take no breaks.
Coming. Yeah, like for real. Like maybe we should talk about tech gifts, dude. Like that's a good
gifts,
idea,
dude.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
This is like right off the cuff.
Yeah,
right off the cusp.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
I'm all about that, dude. You know, tech gifts. Everyone talks about them. Like you see the YouTube videos that people post that are like tech gifts of 2021, and like you know, for the holidays. And you know, most of the time I'm like, meh. I mean, it depends on the budget, right? Like, what, you know, people might be looking to upgrade their own personal stuff, you know, during the holiday season. You know what the traditional gift
me,
is?
myself, and I gift.
Yeah.
What's that?
Traditional gift is a console, right?
Right.
Like when you're a kid, and like for me, I know personally for me, it was like that's when I got the new console.
Can I sidebar that for a second?
Yeah.
If anyone out there is looking, and your mileage may vary on this, but I know my Best Buy got in Switch OLEDs, and they're not listed on the website. They say in-store only, right?
Right.
But but I called. Well, I texted my friend who works there, and he said that we have about 70 in stock.
70.
Right, and that was my local Best Buy.
Holy shit!
So
they're not playing around the holidays.
Right. So like I'm only saying this so like if anyone out there needs a Switch OLED, go to Best Buy, check your Best Buy because they are no longer listing inventory on the website and you can no longer buy it on their website, right? You can only you can only basically go in store and then ask them for one. And they were actually just like stacked up behind my customer service desk.
Yeah.
They weren't even like out where the consoles are. So like if someone's looking for a Switch OLED for Christmas, I would probably check Best Buy. But you have to go in person because the website won't give you any info on it.
Okay, that's actually kind of nutty because, I mean, so the Switch OLED is probably the one console that I don't care about because I already have two Switches and I don't play undocked hardly ever.
See, but you also want a Steam Deck, dude.
Can I say something real quick? Yeah, so I bought a second Switch, so because like Alex would use, my son Alex, he would use our Switch a lot, and I'm like, yo, I want to play the Switch. So I bought another one, and my new Switch like has a weird display problem. Mm-hmm. It's like when I first turn it on, the display has like this weird like ghost looking, like it's kind of like in the middle, it's like blown out and along the edges. It's really weird, dude. I'd have to show it to you. So I think it's a defect or something.
So I was like you, okay? I never played my Switch not docked.
Yeah.
And that's, at least for me, that's literally because the screen was so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of it.
On the Switch OLED, I want to play undocked more often than I want to play docked.
Do you have it on you, dude? I do. Can you show the camera, dude?
I do. Yeah. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I'm going to go grab mine too, so BRB. All right. Sorry about that. So if you're on audio only, I apologize, but we're doing a little bit of a demonstration here.
Yeah, so a couple things. One, like the whole front of it is like metal to the touch. So like this whole area feels like far superior. Let me turn down the brightness because it's actually it's quite a bit brighter than than
is
the
it brighter?
One as well.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
noticed
lot
it
brighter.
was blown out on video.
It's a lot brighter.
Can you hold it a little bit
to
your left, like another 2 inches, when you're holding it up? Okay, right, a little over. Shoot, there's a delay. So other way, dude. Yep, perfect. Stop. Okay, so I mean, other than it not focusing for some reason.
I know. There you go.
It's like, bro, it's seeing the Christmas lights. It wants to focus on those. Okay, yeah. So the screen just being bigger too.
The screen's a lot bigger. It's significantly brighter. It has almost double the battery life.
Yeah.
And if you look back here, the entire back is like a big hingey
Dude,
kickstand.
I'm so jealous. I hate the OG kickstand. Like, I wanted to love it, but it breaks off so easy, especially if you're like Alex broke off our kickstand on the other one, and the fact that it has like an fully adjustable kickstand, like that's kind of clutch. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think for me, I was just hoping for like a Switch Pro, something a little bit beefier. And then they came out with the OLED, and I'm like, okay, this is the best Switch you can get. I mean, without question, if I was in the market for a new Switch, I would get it. But like, I just feel kind of wasteful getting it because I already have 2 Switches.
So here's where I was at, right? Like, there were a few games on the Switch that like I've wanted to play, but like in the back of my mind, I was like, I kind of wish I had the OLED Switch just because one, it looks nice, right? Like the screen looks gorgeous. Like I truly believe that I would rather play this handheld than dock now, just because one, the battery life is crazy good, and two, the screen is actually gorgeous. Like the metal frame and like the screen is, it's like, I don't know if you can hear it. It's hard glass. Yeah, okay. It has no plastic cover. It's just hard glass on it. And it just looks really good. So I mean, that's kind of nuts. So I went to Best Buy and I had like $110 in like reward bucks.
Right.
So, and like it was kind of like one of those things where like you see Switch OLEDs like stacked up, and like you know that they're still going for a markup on like the black market. Yeah. So like I just had to walk over and be like, hey, yo, what's going on with them Switch OLEDs? You know? Right. So I ended up getting it for like $181 after my reward points, and I think I had like a little bit of money on the gift card. Okay. And then I figured, oh well, I'll just give Kelly my original Switch, and then I'll just get the OLED one. But now that I have the OLED one, like, oh man, like I just want to use this all the time. Like, the OLED one has kind of ruined me in a way that like I'm equally more excited for the Steam Deck, and I'm also going to be disappointed if the screen isn't as good as the Switch OLED. Because the screen on this is seriously good, dude.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Like I'm already disappointed in the screen in the Steam Deck. Can I just say? And I haven't even seen it, like other than on video, and I just can tell that I don't like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then like to see like the Switch OLED come out and just have this gorgeous screen. I'm really sad that we don't have like a better screen in the Steam Deck coming. I don't know what it looks like yet. I can't say definitively, but I don't think it's going to be near what the Switch is. I'm just going to call it.
Well, for me,
don't they both have 720p or?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the Steam Deck's like a 16 by 10, so it's probably like 1280 by 800 or something like that. But other than
I can tell you right now that if you got a Switch OLED, you would play yours undocked all the time, just because I know how you are with like screen quality and stuff. And the screen is really nice. And the fact that it's like an edge-to-edge screen now instead of having like that 1-inch thick bezel boy. Yeah. And it feels good too, right? Like it just, I don't know. It just feels nice. I'm actually more impressed with it than I thought I would be. Okay. If that means anything to you.
Have you been playing anything in particular on it, or?
Yeah, so like there's been 2 games that I've been wanting to get, Metroid Dread and Pokemon Shining Pearl. Yeah. I think it's Shining Pearl, right? Is it?
What's there's one?
Like bright diamond,
diamond and pearl. Right. That's all I know.
Right.
Diamond.
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted pearl because that's the only one where you can get the legendary bird trio. Yeah. So I got pearl because of that, and Metroid Dread and Pokemon.
Wait. Like, you can only get the birds on pearl.
Yeah.
What do you get on diamond then?
Pearl has Lugia and the 3 legendary birds.
What's on diamond? Do you get like the legendary dogs? Like what do you get in?
I skipped a lot of Pokemon, so like maybe you might know better. But I know that like I get Lugia, and then you get like Ho-Ho or whatever that one is. Ho-Ho. Yeah. Ho-Ho. And then like 3 other legendary trios, but I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with what those trios were. But I'm familiar with Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. So I was like, I'm in on Pearl.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna look it up. I'm very I want to know, dude. I gotta know what's the unique Pokemons here, differences. So, yeah, okay, hold on. Brilliant Diamond exclusives, dude. Caterpie exclusive.
Butterfree is on yours. It's on Diamond, I think, and okay. I get Beedrill.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Weedle, yeah, you get Beedrill, all kinds of stuff. Palkia, yeah, that makes sense. That's the flagship,
I don't know
right?
who that is.
Palkia is the one on the box. Articuno, yeah. Zapdos, Moltres. So what do I get here? Hold on, I'm Entei. Okay, so I get the legendary dogs.
I'm not
Entei,
familiar with them.
Raikou, and Suicune. So I get the legendary dogs. You get the legendary birds. That's interesting. That's super interesting. I like that. So the uniques are actually like this might be one of the versions where one of the actual games where you're like I need both to get all of them.
So just to give you a little bit more context,
Yeah.
I've been playing my Switch in like bed. So like I'll go to bed around like like some nights I'll go up around 10 and then I'll play that in bed till like 12:30 or whatnot.
Okay.
But one day I played it for almost 6 hours and I still had like 30% battery left.
Wow.
So now Nintendo says like it does vary from game to game.
Right.
But for context, that was on one of the new Pokemon. I'm pretty sure if I was playing Metroid that long, it probably would be closer to like maybe 4.5.
Yeah.
But still, like that's pretty good. That's pretty sizable compared to the old Switch.
Yeah, you know what I like about the Switch though is like when you're not using it, or at least in my case, when I'm not using it, I dock it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
like
same,
it has its own
yeah.
charging. Like as long as it's been docked, like dude, it's ready to be picked up and played for 4 hours. You know what I mean, or more. So that's the cool thing about the Switch is like sometimes my iPad I'll leave it unplugged for a while and then it ends up being dead, and then I'm sad.
Yeah,
it's really my son though, because he'll take it around the house and use it, and then like it never gets charged, and then like he wants to use it, and then it's dead, and I'm like crap.
Yeah.
So that always happens. Whereas like the Switch, it has like a place, and if it's in its place, it's charged.
It's charging. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that.
clutch.
Like I just had to go grab mine off the dock because I do the same thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'll wake up in the morning and then like when I leave the bedroom, I'll just grab it with me, and then when I'm getting ready for work, I just redock it, and then it's good when I get home.
That's cool.
But yeah, man, like I think for people like us, it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
But I think for like people who aren't like us, if you have the normal Switch, I would probably wait. But I feel like for you and I feel like if you got it, you would be smitten. I feel like you'd be like, this is worth it. This is 100%. Because we're like display freaks, right? Like
we are.
You know what I mean? So like I feel like you and I would probably appreciate this more than the average bear. But in all honesty, man, like I never, even when I first got my original Switch and I was still on like that like novelty train, I still played it docked all the time because it was just terrible undocked. Everything was so small and cramped, and like the new screen size coupled with the fact that it's like a bright boy OLED is just makes you want to play it undocked more than docked. To be quite honest with you, let
me also be honest, dude. So like if I was getting ready to buy the brilliant diamond or shining pearl, but what stopped me was the fact that I can already play those on PC right now. So like that's. Like you can play it emulated, and not only can you play it emulated, but they have multiplayer on PC.
That's pretty cool.
So like not like the global, like if they have like global multiplayer stuff, you can't do that with the PC version, but you can do like LAN ad hoc multiplayer stuff that the Switch could do if you had like local wireless friends, right? Because it has an infrastructure where it's like you're on the same, like your proximity.
Kind of like the old Xbox Connect type deal.
Exactly. So it's like an Xbox Connect sort of thing. So, and it's been working pretty good for my tests on it. You can play it in more resolutions, higher resolutions and stuff, which is obviously really cool. And it doesn't run bad at all. Like the Switch emulation has gotten really, really good. And so I've been playing it that way for now, trying to decide if I want to buy it or not. Because I am considering it. So a little bit of a pirate scenario for me.
So you are considering what? Sorry.
Buying, like I was considering buying it for the Switch just because like, if I'm gonna play it, I don't want to be like a dirty pirate. You know what I'm saying? I kind of wanted to just I wanted to see how well it ran on PC and then decide, okay, like maybe I'll buy it because I do have friends that like play it on the Switch, like you and like my friend Mariah. So. It would be cool to be able to have it and then be able to trade with them and stuff like that. So, I don't know, man. I'm really, I would get the new Switch if I wasn't already like planning on new devices like the Steam Deck,
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying, like,
And I already have one.
I think he would think it's worth it. Like, if I know what GameStop's trading credit is, but I think he would think it's worth it just because
I'm
I
sure
know
it
how he
would
always
be. Like, I
trades.
was really tempted. But it was just one of those things, like, I already have a Switch, and I play it docked so much that it's really just, I don't know if it's worth it for me. Like, I would appreciate it, but I don't know if it's quite
No,
worth
I get it. I get it. Like I said, it's one of those things that's like, so what I'm looking for. It's oh, actually, dude.
What's up?
GameStop is giving $220 for a non-OLED Switch.
What the fuck?
So,
what?
Yeah,
That's stupid, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's store credit, right? But it's still
yeah.
store credit.
Oh, yeah. So I'd have to be able to buy it.
Well, not really. I mean,
yeah.
You could buy like Steam cards, or you could buy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You could buy Switch cards. Like if you plan on buying Pokemon, you could just buy like $100 Nintendo gift card, which I'm sure you'll use eventually, or $100 Steam card, which I'm sure you'll use eventually. You know what I mean? So like, you would get the money one way or another. You know, long story short, I picked up a Switch OLED, and I actually find myself using it more portably than I ever used the Switch in the past, just because I feel like the screen now makes sense on it, and like that's you know it's nice to have a handheld again. I guess that's kind of where I'm at. You know, it's nice to have a handheld that I feel compelled to use. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. And the Switch has some great games on it too. So, but like kind of speaking, I kind of want to roll into another topic because. It's related because it's portable, and it's the Analogue Pocket. You've probably seen it on YouTube if you follow a lot of the tech sort of
I actually saw, I think Rerez do a video of it last night when I was falling asleep. But
correct, they did.
I was playing my... I did toss it on, but I was playing Pokemon at the time in bed, so it was like kind of on in the background.
Yeah. So let me talk about it real quick. Let me just show the... I'm going to show the kind of website for it.
Yeah, pull it up.
Here's the Analogue's website here, analog.co/pocket. This is the device. So let me just go over this. This is it's like a handheld.
Looks like a Game Boy.
No emulation. It does look like a Game Boy. It's supposed to, because it runs Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games on it without emulation. So it's an FPGA-based hardware engineered device. It plays original cartridges, right? But like it has way better hardware inside to where it can run the multiple different systems, and it also has an amazing screen. So let me just kind of review. So this is kind of like how the default slot, you know, it uses like a Game Boy cartridge slot. So it'll play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance cartridges.
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Yes.
How is this legal?
This is legal because, yeah, that's actually an interesting point. I guess it doesn't use, typically when it comes to devices like this, so long as it doesn't use the proprietary software that comes with these devices.
But you would have to think that like the GameCube, or I'm sorry, the Game Boy port has to be proprietary, right?
Yeah.
Because then what would prevent someone from making a knockoff Nintendo 64, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's actually good. I don't know what the legality is behind this. I just know that I guess it's legal. Maybe it's because the original hardware for these devices is so old that a lot of stuff's expired. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But this is kind of its dock you can buy for it, where you can have it hook up to a display if you want. You know, it supports the original adapter for networking. You know how like the OG Game Boy had like the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, like you could connect them for like trading Pokemon and stuff. It has like that original port on it. Yeah, it's a pretty neat device. I was actually really close to buying it until I realized that I own no games. Like, that's the thing about this. It's not for emulation. It's not for ROMs. Mm-hmm. It's for original cartridges. And that's awesome if you have a cartridge collection. Now, I will say that you could buy, you know how like you ever see those ROM carts that you can buy that have SD cards in them?
Okay.
Have you seen those? They're like...
Yeah,
like, they're like Game Boy carts.
Like the R34, I think, was one for the DS, right?
Exactly.
Like that thing? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can buy those, obviously, load them up with ROMs, and then play it as if it's original hardware. Like if you have a Game Boy and you want to be able to play your ROMs on it, you'd have to get one of those carts that what you could put the ROMs on it. Same with this device. There is an SD card slot, but it's designed for the firmware and stuff like that. It's not really for ROMs. Now, I was close to buying this because of how good it is. The display is like unreal how good it is on this thing. It's not OLED, but it's not like a IPS. It's like some special screen, but it's getting like a lot of praise from a lot of respected YouTubers that actually go in depth on like the original recreation of how these games are supposed to look. Do they replicate that in a good way? And they do. So I think that's a high praise. So I don't know. It's really cool. It comes in black and white. I was really close to getting it, but it's kind of pricey, dude. So let me just show you.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Yeah, dude. So like it's on pre-order, and that's another problem. Is like the device is $220 right now.
Can I tell you that I love the dock?
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I think it's hyper
clean,
aesthetic. Dude. Yeah, I think it's hyper clean. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I was really close to getting the black one because I just think it looks so nice. The white one I feel like would get dirty.
The problem I have is like,
yeah,
where would I use this that I wouldn't use my Steam Deck or my Switch?
So that's exactly how I feel about it. Is I'm already in the planning phases of getting a Steam Deck. Like I'm reserved, I'm ready to get it. And that thing's going to be an emulator powerhouse, right? Like I'm going to be able to play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and all the other consoles that this thing can play, right?
To me, this seems more like a luxury item.
This is a luxury item if you have original cartridges, right? Of these.
That's kind of Analog space, though, isn't it? Like didn't they make a really nice NES? If I recall correctly.
Yeah, exactly. So there's other if you care about hardware, to be able to play original cartridges, there's a lot of different FPGA based options out there now, but this is probably the absolute best one if you're going to play the handheld stuff. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket Color. There's Atari Lynx adapters. These adapters are $30 a piece. Game Gear adapter, $30. Neo Geo Pocket Color adapter, $30. Atari Lynx, $30. TurboGrafx 16 adapter, $30. Pretty pricey little adapters. But that's the thing. The Steam Deck can play all of those, plus modern stuff like PlayStation 2, N64. It can play all the latest stuff. So GameCube, Wii, I could play all that stuff on the Steam Deck, emulated naturally.
Holy smokes, dude! By the way,
yeah,
did you see that both pre-orders are in fulfillment group C, which means you won't even see it for almost 2 years?
Yeah, that's what blows my mind, right? So I was pretty early on my pre-order. I did pre-order it and then I canceled it because I was like,
yeah, Analog Pocket.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I want this. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. But then I thought, well, they don't make it easy to just put ROMs on it. So
right.
I no longer care. And the Steam Deck's coming. That thing's gonna play whatever I want with what do you call it? Freaking RetroArch. So I was like, I don't need this. This is a luxury item. If you're a collector, you probably want this. If you're a collector, you want it. I just want to put it out to the podcast because it's actually an awesome piece of kit.
It is really cool. It is really cool.
I think it's really cool if you love those retro games. But I want to be real with you, dude. There's very little Game Boy Color games and below that I want to go back to and sit down and play for a long period of time. The Pokemon games were the only ones that I cared about back then.
I would probably the only game that really comes to mind that I would maybe do that for outside of Pokemon would be Golden Sun. Golden Sun is so good.
Yeah, great Game Boy Advance game. Golden Sun was I think people to this day want Golden Sun to come back.
Yeah,
because it was a classic.
It's good, dude.
It looked really cool. It did some really interesting visual stuff. 3D sort of with the battle system. I thought it was super neat. Actually, my brother played more Golden Sun than me. I think it was his cart. So, but I remember looking at it dang, this game looks cool.
So like the only reason I like really remember that is when my mother was still married to my stepdad. His family was in Tennessee. We took a
Yeah.
road trip to Tennessee from Pennsylvania. So like maybe like a, you know how long that is, like a 12, 13 hour car drive maybe.
Right.
Uh, and I remember that I went to at a Game Boy Advance SP at the time, like the folding kind,
Right.
you know, like the Cube Boy, and I wanted a game to play in the car, and I picked up Golden Sun 1 and 2, and I honestly just wanted to like stay in the room where we were staying down there and just play Golden
Yeah.
Sun. Like I didn't want to go
Nice.
out and see like the sights. I just wanted to keep playing Golden Sun 'cause it was
That's
so
so
good.
funny, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, that's how I was like when we went on vacation too. I always brought like my freaking handhelds and stuff.
yeah.
And like, shoot, back in the original Game Boy days, like they didn't have backlights, dude. I remember like at night we'd be driving and like I'd be in the back seat, like trying to figure out like how do I get
Did you
some
have
light on
that
this
like
bitch?
attachment that like basically made your Game Boy like a transformer that had like the lights and the magnifying glass and
Yeah, I
like
know what
all
you're
of
talking
that
about.
nonsense,
Oh my
dude?
god, the OG
Yeah.
Game Boy. Yeah, let me find it. Let me find it. This guy. I think it was the Light Boy. Is this it?
Yeah, I think it is,
Hold on.
dude.
It's loading like a freaking 90s photo. Look at that. Yeah, I had one
No,
of these,
dude,
dude.
that's the small one. That's the
There's a
small
bigger
one.
one?
Yeah, dude. There's one that like puts like an analog stick on it. It like a
Oh,
transformer.
I don't know about that.
Let me see.
Oh, wait, this
Like
thing?
speakers and stuff, dude.
Don't tell me
This
it's
thing.
this.
It is.
You have a link?
It's called the Handy Boy, dude.
Handy Boy? I got it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Pull
No
up the
way.
Game Boy Handy Boy, dude. I had this thing. Look at this transformer,
There's
dude.
no way. Oh
when
my
your
god.
when your powers combine, dude. I'm Captain
Holy
Planet, dude.
shit. Is this? Oh my god, dude. Look at
I
this.
had one of these, dude.
Oh my god, this thing is nutty. Look at the stereo.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Dude, this thing's oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
This thing is insane. Wow, that analog stick, there's no way that played good.
No, so like thankfully,
Oh, man.
if you
It's
see in the
optional?
picture, it's optional. So like I never used that part, but like the light, the speakers, and the magnifying glass
Yeah,
was
you
amazing.
use that
Can I
shit,
just
yeah.
tell you like how fucked up things were back in like the early '90s, dude? Like
Yeah.
we literally invented things to hold a magnifying glass in front of our screen.
Dude, I know. That's what that was what the level of
Dude,
desperate we were,
how
dude.
weird that was, dude. Like think
Yeah.
about how wonky that is, man. Like
I had the squiggle light. You remember this thing? Did you have one of these?
let me look it up.
Oh, you can't see what I'm seeing. Yeah. So on the Game
No.
Boy Color, they had like a little squiggle light, worm light, and that thing was pretty good.
No,
you
I
know?
didn't have one of those. I didn't have one
Yeah,
of
that
those.
thing was pretty sick in the Game Boy Color days, dude.
I did have a Game Boy camera, and I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I think we took a road trip to like Baltimore, Maryland,
Yeah.
and my mom wanted to get me like a disposable camera. You know, like disposable cameras, like big in the day. I think I was
Yeah.
like 9, maybe 8 or 9. I don't know. I
Right.
was a young boy, maybe 10. And like I just got the Game Boy camera, and I was like, "No, I'll be good. I'll take all of my memories with my Game Boy."
Yeah.
What a mistake that was!
Dude, you had the Game Boy printer to go along with it?
I
dude?
did have the Game Boy printer, dude. It printed out like
Yes.
stamp-sized photos.
Yeah, I had this too. I loved my favorite part about the Game Boy camera was the mini game with the mole. And you
I think I kind of vaguely remember that.
you gotta slam the A button as fast as you can and outrun the different animals or whatever. Yeah, something about like you're a runner, like a track runner, and you gotta like run faster than the mole and jump over.
See, in my opinion, the best mini game in any game that shouldn't have one was the Fly Swatter game in Mario Paint on Super Nintendo.
Oh, dude, that game was clutch.
That game was so good, dude. Play with the mouse, dude.
Yeah, I played the hell out of that whenever I had the chance. I didn't have a Super Nintendo, but my cousin did. So whenever I got to his house and I got to play it, that was like one of my favorite things. The Fly Swatter game, man, shit
So
was fun.
good, dude.
And beat the shit out of that big bee or whatever, the wasp. Like that was fun as hell. Classic, dude. Anyway, dude, so that's been the Analog Pocket. we got a couple other topics. We got Halo Infinite campaign. I know we didn't even introduce the topics, but really we were going to talk about Halo Infinite campaign a little bit, CSAM stuff for Apple, and I want to talk about your loop being filled because you sent me a message saying that you refilled your loop.
It may be getting drained again. Who knows?
Okay, yeah.
Who knows?
Do you want to put your 2 cents in for that? Because if you're a new listener, basically he drained his water cooling loop on his PC because he's going to sell his PC stuff. So go full Mac, but he refilled it for some reason, dude. What made you refill it?
Well, honestly, right now it's external display support, and until I find a solution that works for external display support that I'm happy with,
right.
I can't switch over yet. And I'm kind of on the fence with like what I want to do because I have 2 more things to try, and I've been Googling a lot and reading about it, and like I'm kind of not well versed in like Apple's high DPI mode. I don't know if you are.
What do you mean? What's their high DPI mode?
So my understanding, and the too long didn't read of this, is ever since Apple switched over to Apple Silicon, they have to code in supported resolutions for their high DPI. And essentially what high DPI is, it's how like text and stuff kind of formulates like almost like ClearType on Windows, I guess, is the best way to do it. So like whereas the old Intel Macs, they were designed to support pretty much any resolution.
Okay.
Well, apparently
the M1s don't.
Apparently the M1s don't.
What?
So like if I sent you a picture of like text on my 4K monitor, it looks it just looks like smeary. I guess that's the best way to put it. And I'm really desperately trying to find a way that isn't the case. People are saying that the new macOS Monterey beta fixes it.
Wow.
And some people have even reported that the new Monterey beta, they're getting 4K 120 over Thunderbolt. Which, if that's the case, that would be amazing. But I can't confirm that because I'm not on the beta.
Yeah.
And 2, I don't know if that's the case. But I would even settle for 4K 60 HDR with high DPI support. Because right now, I can do 4K 60 HDR, but font just looks bad. Like, even in Apple's own apps, it just looks bad. And, like, I can't really send a picture. Because, like, if I do a screen grab, right, like it's going to look fine in the screen grab to you. Because it's how the pixels are displaying it on my screen. So it's really hard to like share an image, like to like kind of show you guys, like give you some context of like what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it just looks like I don't know, like let me send you something and then see if it comes through. Like
probably not, but
tell me if this just looks like blurry to you. Like it just doesn't look crisp.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I can't tell in
yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it just looks weird. For like lack of a better word,
it kind of looks fine for me, so I don't.
Yeah,
it
like
might be
right, like it's not going to come through. I don't think because it's like a subpixel problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like this probably looks fine to you too, right? Or does that look a little fuzzy? Like it looks crazy fuzzy to me, so I can't tell.
It's not fuzzy, no. It's pixel perfect.
Yeah, exactly right. So like it's basically
it's
how
not
it's
your
displaying.
Display doing anything weird, is it? Like
no, it's how it's display. It's how it's rendering the pixels on my specific display, so like you can't really notice it in screen grabs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So it's how Apple is handling like
problem.
Right. It's how Apple is handling like pixel doubling or pixel whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for,
you know
like,
what?
scaling,
wasn't that a thing with these LG OLEDs anyway? Was like the subpixel arrangement on them makes text look funny? Wasn't that a thing? I think I remember reading about that even being an issue on Windows, but I never felt like I noticed it.
I was gonna say I could tell you that if it's an issue on Windows, I don't notice it.
Yeah,
but I 130% notice it on Mac.
I'm gonna look into that for you because I'm really curious.
Yeah, if you can, dude, that would be huge because that's right now that's right now the number one thing holding me back is just
okay. Yeah, that makes sense, dude. Like, it's essential. I'm actually, if that's a real thing, dude, I'm shocked because, like, that's the first thing I've seen from the M1, like the Apple Silicon machines, that's been like a deal breaker. Everything else has been better, which is nutty. So
yeah, so apparently, like 1440p is just a train wreck on M1 Max
Okay.
right now. Like it's just an absolute train wreck. You know what it looks like to be quite honest with you, if you go into Windows and you use like an LG OLED and you don't use 4x4x4x4 4x4x4
Yeah, I know what you
subsampling,
mean.
like
Yeah.
that's exactly what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah.
Like it looks like it's using like 400 or 420 chroma pixel
Do you think it
subsampling.
is?
You have no way of knowing on Mac, dude.
You don't
You have no
know.
way of knowing, dude. You have no way of knowing. Yeah.
I know. It's such a shame. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna look into it, man, because
Yeah, if you
one
can,
of
dude,
those
that'd be
things
great.
that I'm glad on Windows. Like I can see that. I don't know of a way to do it on Mac OS. So that's
Yeah,
interesting.
like I'm sure there's a way to do it. Like I'm looking under
Maybe.
like graphics and displays, but it
Right.
just says like under its like system settings, but it doesn't mention it. It just says television yes, automatically just brightness yes, resolution 3840 by 2160, ultra high definition at 60 hertz. Like it doesn't tell me
Right.
anything about like pixel subsampling or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I sent you a link if you want to dig into it in your free time, or even do some testing of your own with like an HDMI cable to your television.
I have
Actually,
I've
I was
hooked
gonna
up
say
to the big TV, 4K, and like
it might be too far away for you to notice. Like I feel like if
yeah,
I was farther away, I wouldn't notice it. But like, yeah, man, if you think about it, like plug your M1 Max into your
my
TV,
LG, like the one at my
your
desk here.
yeah, yeah, and like specifically, like TeamSpeak is hyper noticeable. Like the notification tray on the bottom is like hyper noticeable there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, do you think it has to do with the display scaling at all? Do
I
you
think that's
use
exactly what it is. Well,
so
I use. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
you know how you have scaled mode
If
and
I
then
use default for display scaled, everything does everything exhibits the issue
yeah,
except for the largest one available.
the largest. Okay, that's
Yeah, like
not
the
what I want.
largest available doesn't have it. Like the
Okay.
largest available looks like 640 by 480. That
Yeah, no
one,
thanks.
it's fine. But if I go to like more space, which is like the biggest, it does
Yeah.
it. If I go to the next one up, it does it. Let me check
Yeah.
the middle one actually. Yeah, the middle one up does it.
Right.
Yeah, dude. So pretty much the only one that doesn't do it is like 640 by 480, because like the pixel sub arrangement must like match perfectly at that resolution. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so weird, so weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre to me, man. Like it just looks bad. It just looks not good.
All right. I mean, I'll take your
It
word for it. I haven't tested it personally, so I'll give it a shot. Because I'm all obviously I want to use my M1 Mac at the desk. So,
yeah.
let me give that a shot. See what I can do.
Oh,
Yeah,
so just
interesting
doing
though.
some testing here. Just doing some testing.
Yeah.
If I turn off HDR, it's fine.
So you know what that tells me, right?
Bandwidth,
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's
but
bandwidth because like at HDR you're pushing it, so it's probably doing like a 420 or like something. Uh,
yeah, but
just to
it's
be
like
able to
crazy
have
dark
enough
without
bandwidth
it.
for
It's crazy dark without it.
without HDR.
Yeah.
It's dark. Interesting.
So
Is that
now
because
this
your
is weird.
TV is like getting not a SDR signal, so it's not?
Probably.
You probably got to increase like your SDR backlight and gamma.
So just for testing purposes, I tried 4K 30 HDR and it still did subsampling. It
Okay.
still was blurry.
Okay.
So 4K 30 HDR has the same issues as 4K 60 HDR, but that's realistically what's holding me back.
Yeah, this wouldn't be a problem on Windows, so we'll have to investigate. Maybe we can get
So
around it, but I
so like I
understand why you
said,
filled it.
yeah. So like until I figure this out, I can't get rid of my desktop yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if that's figuring it out by by finding a cable that works, finding a dock that works,
Yeah.
Apple patching Mac OS Monterey, like something along those lines, like that's what's holding me back right now.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term. The only thing that I actually haven't tried yet is a 8K, not that it matters, but like a high quality cable going from the physical HDMI port into the TV. I have not tried that yet.
Okay. You mean like an HDMI 2.1 cable from Mac straight?
I haven't tried.
No dock.
I haven't tried any HDMI cable from the Mac to the TV.
Oh, you know what? You should.
Because I probably should, but like Thunderbolt 3 or 4 has more bandwidth. And that's what it drives the 6K screens with. Like where they say like the M1 Max can do 6K HDR or three 6K HDR screens. Like those are out of the Thunderbolt ports. Those aren't out of the HDMI ports, obviously.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Something weird with their software right now to where like even those docks that supposedly support like the high bandwidth, high quality modes, 4K 120 don't do it. So maybe there's just like an issue with like HDMI docks and dongles. So I don't know. It'd be an interesting experiment because I would try both for sure. But yeah, that's all you really had to ask about that because like Apple, or you're gonna find a way to fix it, or Apple's gonna fix it, and then like you're gonna be dumping your PC. So
pretty much,
unless Windows like has a reason to hold on to you. Like if you don't have a reason to use Windows, you're not gonna. So and like right now,
I think a good example is at work today, right? Like I had to make some changes on a 26-minute video I made.
Okay,
and I was exporting that video. And the export only took like 3 minutes and 13 seconds, which was mind blowing to me, right? Like totally mind blowing to me. But literally, as soon as I pressed export, I swiped over to my second desktop, and then I edited 14 photos I had to edit for work, and like nothing slowed down.
Nice.
And it still exported the video in 3 minutes. Like if I did that on any Windows machine, I would have to wait for that export to be done.
For sure.
So like stuff like that is really what's driving me to want to switch over. So.
Do you have to make proxies or optimize media?
No, but that's because and don't quote me on this because like I'm kind of a video noob still. But the C70s are recording in H.264.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
So I believe that they just support the media encoders natively. So
yeah, H.264 is hardware accelerated by the media engine. So
right, like if you saw my timeline, like I have a bunch of qualifiers because like I graded the screen differently, like with that method I told you, where it just looked for that blue,
right?
And like and I've added blur in some spots, and I don't even get as much as a dropped frame during playback.
Really cool.
And like and like that would even like make my 3090 question it sometimes, So
right. That's awesome.
So yeah, just really impressive stuff for like what I want to start using my computer mainly for.
Speaking of, dude, you just got done talking about how Linus's video on the M1, the M1 Max and stuff was kind of flawed. What was it? Who was saying that on YouTube? Max Tech?
Yeah, that was Max Tech.
Yeah.
And like it's really interesting because like this literally just came in. Like this video was just posted like probably the same time we started the podcast. So like I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet. But like even the comments are saying that Max is right. Like every comment is saying that.
Yeah, when you mentioned it to me earlier, I looked at it and like it looks pretty comparable because the benchmarks that Linus's team was showing were of software that's not running optimal on the M1. Like they're like, okay, look, this doesn't support metal yet. This doesn't support, this is Intel or whatever. Like that's pretty interesting because it makes the tests almost a little bit rigged against the M1 Max.
They do.
And
they do.
I feel like that's a little bit unfair to the M1 Max. I think maybe Linus Tech Tips was a little unfair to it. And
like just going through these videos, right?
Yeah.
Like he's showing benchmarks from other reviewers, showing benchmarks from Snazzy Labs. She's showing benchmarks from people who just benchmark like
really
After Effects.
You can do that,
and yeah, and they're all showing the M1 Max either being on par or beating like 3080 PCs.
Yeah,
here's one where they're doing a Mozilla Firefox compile test. and it took an i9 11900K with an RTX 3080 17 minutes, and it took the M1 Max 14 minutes.
Okay.
And this is a third party benchmark. Like, this isn't something he ran or cherry picked or something like that. Um, and then he
Which
showed a Blender
benchmark?
test. It was the Mozilla
Okay,
Mozilla
compile test.
compile test. So
Yeah.
here's one that's probably interesting to you, right? So, like, remember how they kind of compared it to like a 3050 Ti in
Yeah.
Linus's video? So they did a Blender benchmark, which is something probably close to home for you, right?
It very close. I've done my own tests.
Right. So, a MSI GE76 Raider with an 11980 HK and an RTX 3080 plugged in, which, that's important for those boys, rendered the BMW scene in 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And the M1 Pro and M1 Max both rendered them in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, which
Okay.
tells me that Blender is kind of hardware locked for those guys right now, because the Pro and the Max got the same exact time.
So let
But
me
it was
tell
still
you, right? The reason, well, actually, that's really weird. Although the Pro and the Max really have equivalent CPUs for the most part, the GPU component is what's really different. And the thing is, right now, Blender on Mac is doing a CPU render.
okay.
It's not
That makes sense.
utilizing
That
the
makes sense
GPUs.
then. That makes
It's
sense then.
because as of now, there's no metal support in Blender. It's coming. It's coming. So
So
Apple joined the Blender Foundation, and they have the drivers. They have everything made everything available open source to support metal. It's just not implemented into the current version yet. So that's coming in like Blender 3.1, but it's not here yet. When that comes, that's when it's going to be very interesting. Right now,
so
the NVIDIA cards can do CUDA core accelerated GPU rendering on Blender. So there should be an advantage there too if you have hardware GPU.
so let me discuss something with you then, because it sounds like you're pretty well versed in Blender. So let me pick your brain on this, okay?
Yes.
So the GE76 Raider with an NVIDIA GPU did 3 minutes and 49 seconds. The M1 MacBooks, both Pro and Max, have the same time of 3 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
and that's using CPU only.
this is a little
So
sus because I almost feel like maybe on the MSI you said it was.
they use CPU as well.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
suspicion.
that's what I'm thinking too. That's
'Cause
also what I'm thinking.
you have to know what you're
Because
doing
there's
in
no
Blender
way.
to
Yeah.
enable GPU
Yeah.
acceleration, and it may
Well,
be that the testing, whoever did the test,
well, they did
didn't do it.
include a desktop 3080 using GPU only, and that
Okay.
was 27 seconds.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. So they definitely didn't do it on the laptop then. GPU acceleration.
So,
So that
but
tells you, like, if it's just CPU versus CPU, the Mac wins. You know what I mean?
mhm.
As far as that goes. So that would be like, and it uses the nice thing about, Blender rendering on the CPU is it will use all your cores and threads.
Sure,
So
sure.
it's just like pure, like, whoever has the most, like, cores, threads, performance is going to win. The Mac, the M1 Max obviously is winning here, which is great. That's a
So
good result.
here's
Like
one that
CPU, result.
I also thought was pretty interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna actually screen grab this for you. So if you want to pull it up, you can. Because Linus specifically said that it's basically a 3050 Ti, and this is using the 3D Mark benchmark that has native x86 and native ARM support. So
All right. So I have it pulled up. So explain this.
yeah, so like you're probably familiar with like 3D Mark, right? Like it's kind of
Yeah,
like the
100%.
de facto benchmark for graphics. So in Linus's video, they've made the claim that the M1 Max is essentially a 3050 Ti.
Right.
So when Max Tech and other reviewers have properly ran a cross-platform benchmark properly, and I'm not saying Linus did it improperly, I'm
Right.
saying that a majority of channels, including Quinn from Sassy Labs, Max from Max Tech, and a few other names, their GPU performance is more in line with what you would expect from a 3080 plugged in.
Yeah.
And this graph kind of shows that.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's really interesting to say that to have Linus's hot take of them saying that's basically a 3050 Ti, and this is using the Surface Studio, which is one of the best examples of that.
Can I ask another question? I didn't even know 3D Mark ran on Mac. Is that true?
I think that Wildlife does.
Okay.
Let me check.
Yeah, because
it does. Yes, it does.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to run that.
And so the new one came out. The Wildlife one is the first multi-platform, multi-operating system benchmark, because they kind of feel like we're kind of drawing the line. This is going to sound very Apple, but we're drawing the line between what is a computer and what isn't. Yes. So like now we live in a world where we want to know for real how fast our phone is compared to our laptop or a Chromebook. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So that's where Wildlife comes in.
You know, there's got to be, you know what's funny? Now that you bring that up, is I bet you like flagship smartphones are better than like your $200 Chromebook, dude, by a long shot. By a long shot, because those Chromebooks suck. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's been unfair. The M1 Max equipped devices, the M1 Pros are even really good. The GPU is ridiculous on the M1 Max, and I have to say that once metal acceleration is happening on the M1 Max with Blender, once that comes, I have a feeling it's going to completely destroy Blender on the desktop. Even maybe not in raw, maybe not in raw compute, but like I think that the fact that you have the unified memory, 64 gigs of unified memory, is sort of nutty on Blender. You know, I can crash my desktop PC with a 3080 in it because my VRAM, like, I can fill it completely in like a second. So
I can't.
And so I will crash. I remember I've crashed Blender. I have to like be very specific on what I'm doing, or I will crash Blender because I run out of VRAM. And in your case, you have a 3090, you have a little bit more, but like no matter what you have, you're not going to beat 64 gigs of unified memory. Right. It's just nutty. And like if you're doing any sort of graphically heavy stuff in Blender, you just have the sky's the limit with what you can do now. So it's really, really cool. I love that. So I have a feeling like once we have it, it's going to be game changing for Blender people out there, and any kind of graphic. Like that's the thing. I feel like
I think it's game changing. I think it's game changing for photo editing and video editing. I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say it that like it's been a while, and like I feel like that you and I maybe. There was a really good video out, and I forget who watched it because I've been consuming every piece of M1 content I could possibly find. Right. But he was kind of shying people away from the M1 Max. Not because it's not insane, but because the M1 Air, the M1 13-inch Pro, and just the basic M1 Pro is probably more computer than most people need. Right?
I agree.
So there's this photographer I watch, and he bought an M1 Pro 14 and an M1 Max 16. And for like stuff like Photoshop and things of that nature, like we're talking like maybe a 3-second difference because the M1 Pro with the unified memory is already just lightning. Right.
Yeah, so in my opinion, most people probably just need the M1 Pro. Like say you're doing video or photo editing, you probably don't need the Max. You probably don't.
Right. So he was arguing that like literally he said that if your workflow is mostly photos, I would push you towards the Pro because you're going to save some money and you're going to get better battery life and you're going to get similar performance. He said that unless you're editing large timelines or doing 3D renders, video is a big portion of what you do and you would benefit from those for the extra encoder engine. Then I would look at the Max. But if you're just strictly a photographer, you're not going to see a big jump in going to the Max from the Pro.
In my opinion, you just need to get at least the Pro because the display is so good. Like if you care about like having the best display you can get on like a Mac,
I would say for photo editing, I would still probably push people to the Pro. As someone who has a 13M1, I would like more RAM. Especially more RAM
for just photo editing. I'd say M1 Pro because
I agree. I agree
like
with that.
Don't go with the just the regular M1 13-inch MacBook Pro unless you can't afford the M1 Pro 14 or 16, because like the Pro Display XDR displays are really that much better, even with just like SDR content.
They really are.
Photo
really
stuff. It's really very nice. So I think that you'll appreciate that as somebody that's trying to do editing, make beautiful photos. Just having a better display will make your life a lot easier and nicer. Yeah. But yeah, man, like the M1 Max, I think the only reason I went for it is I want to be able to have that nutty GPU, especially on the off chance I'm playing a game. Like right now, I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. I was going to
say, if you game, it's definitely worth it, right? Like,
yeah,
like more graphic horsepower if you plan on playing any sort of game on there is probably worth it. But if you're like a productivity guy, and you only do photos, I would 100% recommend the Pro.
Yeah,
not because like it's like uber cheaper. Right, like it's like what, a $400 difference,
right?
Excuse me, but the peak power draw is massive on the two, right? So like, if you can
M1 Pro
get by with the Pro, right? Exactly, right. So like if your workflow allows you to like get on with the Pro, then I would say do that
for sure. Yeah. Anyway, dude, let's move on. I got 2 more topics to cover. Sure. I got Apple CSAM stuff. So you mentioned to me, if you're a listener and you aren't familiar, the CSAM stuff is the discussion around Apple was going to implement some CSAM limiting stuff, which is to scan your iCloud library for photos that may contain this the CSAM, which is like a child endangerment thing, right? Like
right.
What's CSAM stand for? It's like shoot.
Yeah, we should probably know what that is, right?
Child sexual abuse material.
Yeah, there you
got it. So they were basically scanning. They were going to scan your iCloud library for photos that may be known CSAM photos in a database somewhere. So they were going to scan that, and they were going to do some other stuff with like your messages scanning for like nude photos and stuff, right? So
they do that now in 15.2 if you have parental controls on. If you have parental controls on. So I'll kind of touch on what I want to touch on, but I also want to say that now in 15.2 they have rolled out a feature where if you have like a son or a daughter and you have parental controls enabled on their iPhone and they're sending someone like boobies or dick pics, you as a parent will get a notification that'll say, "Hey, your son has a dick pic in his iMessage."
Nice.
Which could be kind of bad, right? But it could be kind of. I mean, I'm like, you want to say it's good, right? But let's say you're like this like low key creeper, right? And then and then like your son is like getting booby pics from his girlfriend, and then your phone's like, "Yo, there's booby pics on your son's phone."
But let's be real. That's weird.
It is weird, right? It's really weird.
That's weird. That's funny.
But like people are weird in the first place, right? Like that's why the whole CSAM thing's rolling out because people are weirdos.
Yes, people are weirdos. So, what was your point though? Like the CSAM, they took the stuff off their...
it was hyper controversial. Like no one wanted it. People thought that it would open various back doors. It would create almost like a slippery slope mentality, and like people. Basically, the internet kind of banded together and was like, listen, Apple, good intention, really bad execution. Like, we don't want you scanning our iCloud pictures. We don't want you checking them against a hash. We don't want you doing any of that stuff because it can and will get exploited. And history has told us that it can and will get exploited. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So, Apple had recently as today, removed every inkling of information relating to scanning images, relating to CSAM, relating to anything of that nature from their website. So like it's almost as if they just retcon time and that conversation never happened, according to Apple's website currently. Now, Mac Rumors did reach out to Shane Bauer, and Shane Bauer told The Verge that the CSAM detection feature is no longer being mentioned at all on the website. Plans for CSAM detection have not yet changed since September, which means that it's still coming in the future with changes, and they don't know what those changes are yet. Okay. So Apple still plans on moving forward with it, but I think that they're going to rethink how they go about it. My guess, and this is speculation on my part,
right?
But I think that they're probably going to use some sort of on-device scanning where it doesn't leave your device.
I mean, I don't like either. Let me be honest.
I don't either.
So
I don't
I'm
either,
somebody
but...
that, you know, obviously I'm all about the spooky stuff. Like I think about this stuff a lot with these companies and where my data is. And that's why I self-host so much, is because I want my data to be in my possession. I don't want anyone to look at it, let alone like the companies, you know, like Apple, Microsoft, all these people. Like I don't want them in my business. I just don't want them to be able to look at any of my stuff ever.
I just want to point something out really quickly, just so our listeners know. Google already does this. Google already scans for CSAM,
and I'm sure Microsoft does too.
I'm sure they do too. I'm sure they do too. I just wanted to like.
It's kind of funny because like
point,
we can't like shit on Apple specifically for this. People have been. I'm sure that they've already been doing it. Apple just went public with it. Trying to be transparent with their audience, and now they're getting shit on for that.
Yeah.
When other people have surely.
Can I tell you what bothers me about that? Like kind of off topic, on topic. Mm-hmm. I have a buddy who's looking for a new phone, and his 2-year-old phone, like, just doesn't work anymore. Okay. And it's a Samsung Galaxy, and I said, get an iPhone, and he goes, LOL, no, they purposefully slow down their phones. And I'm like, you don't understand what they were doing,
right?
And then I try to get into how batteries work and how, like, if a processor requires a certain amount of voltage and that battery can't supply that voltage.
Right.
And then he was like, oh, so all 13 countries that rolled against Apple were wrong then. I'm like, you know what I mean? So it's almost like...
Here's the thing, right? From his perspective, he doesn't deal with that on Android devices. Right. So he's just like, but what he also doesn't understand is his Android device's battery becomes shit way faster.
Right.
Like all my Android friends that come over whenever we're playing in the evening, like we play Jackbox Party Pack games, which you play with your phone, you interact with what's on the screen on your phone, and everyone's phones are always dead. I swear all the Android phones are dead, and the iPhone users don't say shit because they got battery, dude. Like sorry. This is just my personal experience.
No, I have the same experience, man, so go for it.
Yeah, so that's just been my experience with battery life. Like, I know that you can get Android phones that are sicko mode battery, but, like, they drain more.
Yeah,
it doesn't last. You start loading them up with software, they're doing all those background tasks and shit. Like, Samsung and stuff, like, have stuff that runs in the background to, like, kill stuff that's just chilling, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what they have to do. They have to, like, ghetto kill your shit. Because like their customers, they don't want them to have a bad experience on Android. You know, it's like,
as someone with a very rudimentary understanding of circuitry, batteries, and processors, I think Apple did the right move.
Yeah,
for longevity of phone, I think Apple did the right move.
Right. I don't think it was a bad move either, and honestly, most people aren't even gonna notice, dude.
No.
The modern iPhone is so fast.
I was just gonna say that, like, if you like my mom has an XS Max, which is what, 3 or 4 generations old now.
Right.
Again, if you pick up her phone, it feels just as snappy as my 13 Pro.
That's the beauty of the iPhone is it doesn't slow down or feel old. Like, it's just, I've seen a little bit of weirdness on iPhones before, but like for the most part, dude, it's like consistently good, even if it's old. So I don't know, man. Like, that's just been my experience personally.
Mine too.
I don't know, man. It's a bad argument, but
I mean, I joke all the time that, like, so my boy just came over and he just got the new Pixel 6, but not Pro, with the Pixel 6 one. I'm like, I don't know how long he's been on his phone or whatnot, but like, playing Eclipse until like 2 or 3 a.m., which is, by the way, insane board game. If you're new, I would check out Eclipse 2nd edition. Anyway, at like 2:30, we're on like round 7 of 8. And he goes, yo, man, do you have a USB-C charger for my phone?
Yeah.
And like, again, like, I don't have the context of like what he's done
right
in the past that day, but it was still funny that he still asked for a charger. So
yep. That's what it is, dude. But yeah, back to the CSAM, dude. We kind of we go off topic. So the CSAM, like, as far as Apple's concerned, it sounds like it's off their website. It's still coming. And I think that other companies are already doing it. I can't tell you whether or not, you know...
Do you think Google checked with us first if it was okay?
No.
Do you think Google? No, they just fucking did it.
Fucking did it, dude. Yeah. They've been scanning this shit. Do you think all the stuff in your iCloud and your Google Drive and your Dropbox doesn't get fucking looked at, dude? Tell me that it doesn't. Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's where I stand on that. I don't think it gets looked at per se. I think they have the ability to look at it, right?
Yes.
Like I don't think someone at Apple is
scanning though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But as far as like some dude going into like Randy's iCloud and looking at his pictures,
probably could.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they probably have the capability. I'm not. I'm just saying I don't
even want that. So one of the things that I see recommended for people that do use these cloud services is you encrypt your data before you put it on there.
Yeah.
If you really care about it being like private, you know what I mean. If you don't give a shit, you don't give a shit. But I know personally, if I put photos in a cloud backup solution, I don't want them to ever be able to look, personally. That's just personally. And so I would encrypt it before even putting it up there. But the convenience is so good. Like I know that, if you do iCloud sync, I know you do, right? Like you use the photo backup with
I use everything.
Sync.
Mostly because of convenience.
It's so convenient.
It is. And pretty much all of my files is like nothing is like hyper personal. You know what I mean? Like photos are personal, but
you're not taking dick pics, then.
Again. I mean, like, how many men are there in the world? Like, there's a lot of dicks out there, right? Like, my dick is not.
Who cares about my dick? You know
dude. Like, I got an average dick, dude. Like, there's a lot nicer. I'm sure there's a lot nicer dicks out there.
I don't know, dude. Maybe not. Maybe you got a nice dick. You just don't know, dude.
I know, man. Shit. Apple knows, though. Apple knows, dude.
They do. They get to know. So they're building a database right now. You know, Facebook would do that, right? Like they'd fucking
database,
your metadata, like
the DDB, dude.
Dude, they'd have your dick metadata, dude. They'd be like, all right, we need to recommend some pills to this guy. Like,
dude. This guy needs to grow, dude.
Some growth hormone pills recommended to the shorter end of the stick. You know what I'm saying?
Dude. Yeah, dude.
They would if they could make some money off of it.
Oh my god, they definitely would, dude. Could you imagine if they could like target things like that, dude?
Dude, you know they do. Like they probably like, all right, this guy's self-conscious, dude. We're gonna like give him some like self-esteem boost shit. Like
probably, man. Like that's probably
that's what
they are,
dude. Meta. This is the fucking metaverse shit right now.
This is it. Dude.
The metadata on you that they're gathering.
Some boner pills, dude. I saw you snapping pics in the bathroom last night.
Dude, if I want some boner pills, I'll look at my spam inbox, dude. Because that's
pretty much all it is, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's been the Apple topic for today, dude. Let's do the final topic and then wrap it up, dude. Halo Infinite, dude.
Halo Infinite.
So I finished the campaign, and you're kind of taking a little time with it. You know what I mean? You said you got a boy that you're playing with.
However, when I do play by myself, I've been doing all the side stuff.
Okay, so side stuff. So there's a pretty good amount of side stuff to do. So how far along you think you are? I'm not going to do spoilers because I think it's still too early to spoil the campaign.
I'll be very generic.
Sure.
I just fired a mining laser.
Okay, I know where you're at. Yeah, okay. That's not too deep into it, I don't think.
I think my achievement progress bar says 28%.
So you fought that one boss
with the hammer?
Yeah.
Grapple Boy is your life.
Like Boris or some shit.
Yeah. I just killed him actually.
Yeah. So it's not really much of a spoiler, dude. You know they're brutes in it. You know they got hammers, dude.
There's bosses in the game. Spoiler. Halo campaign has a boss. Spoiler. Halo campaign has a gravity hammer.
Yeah. So I actually died to that guy quite a bit.
So did I.
A couple times. Like he comes at you quick, dude. Like
you basically have to grapple off the rafters. That's what I do.
You have to. Like it's like you gotta. Some enemies rush you so hard. Like those brutes that they always come in pairs.
Yeah, they just run at you, dude. Yeah,
dude, those guys beat my ass if I don't grapple the fuck out of there immediately.
So
they catch up to you so quick.
I have a few questions for you.
Yeah, sure.
Are the side quests dynamic?
What do you mean side quest?
So
there's not really side quests per se. There's just like
so without getting into spoilers, okay? So because I feel like that's not a spoiler, but like you know how like high priority targets come up on your map?
Yes.
I had one come up yesterday that I swear wasn't there 2 days ago.
Yeah, so that's a little bit dynamic. I've noticed like that some pop up like as I was going through the story, they would pop up out of nowhere. I wonder if they're like gated by progression.
Maybe
Like after
because
you do something, they'll
like
appear.
I didn't do any main story, and then I was kind of going around and like I could have sworn
Oh,
that like the first day it didn't show me where like Spartan cores or like the
yeah.
multiplayer unlocks were on my map, and then when I logged in the next day, they were all on my map.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how dynamic it is
Are they on
because
your map too?
the Spartan cores.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the map, but I don't know if you have to unlock like the fobs before they show up. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
how it
Maybe that's what it
works.
is because I was going around unlocking the fobs. Maybe that could have been it. But
Yeah.
a couple other things. The achievements are a little buggy. At least on day
Oh,
one, they were for me. Uh, because I accidentally found a skull, like literally like an hour after launch.
wow. Congrats.
Yeah, accidentally, and uh,
It didn't count for you, or
no, but I see that there's an achievement for it, but I didn't
they
unlock the
talked
achievement.
about
But I have a
how
skull.
early on there was some bugs with achievements. If I don't know what the situation was around it. Like you had to be online or something to do with yeah, I forget. There was some weirdness, but they said they were gonna fix it. So hopefully it's fixed by now. But that sucks for people that, have already found it, because you can't just pick up where you left off, like go back to
The
story.
skull is just pick up one skull, right? So when I get my
Oh,
second one, I assume I'll be fine. But
okay.
just
Yeah,
something
makes
I've
sense.
noticed.
Interesting. I haven't found a skull the whole time I was playing. So
Really? So
yeah, maybe I should have looked
you
harder.
you know how when you first land in Zeta,
Yeah.
there's that like lost soldier crew that's like in the bottom dick tip of the map,
Yeah.
and like I couldn't figure out how to get to that one.
Okay.
Well, I was just like grappling around and like Skyrim climbing,
Yeah.
and I found like this little cave, and the blind skull is in it.
Oh,
I
nice.
was legitimately just trying to get as far south as I could, and I just found this cave, and that's
Yeah.
where I found it. So
You know what? I swear to God, I probably just missed a couple because I found a weird cave. I went in there, found some power weapons, but I bet you there was a skull in there. It was like the one weird spot that felt like I was in a secret spot,
mhm.
and I just didn't see it. So I don't know what
Yeah,
they look like. I'm sure if I saw one, that I probably would have seen more because I know what
sure,
they look like.
sure.
But like, there's just a lot going on everywhere that like it kind of blends together. I might have just missed it. But
Yeah, so uh, I did want to ask you something too, because
sure,
like you're kind of like a Halo lore boy.
yeah.
Can you explain Valor to me?
You know,
Like I know how it works as a mechanic in game, but like I don't know like the backstory behind how earning more Valor unlocks more weapons.
I
Because
don't
to
think there is a
me,
backstory, dude. I think that's just the game, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, but to me it kind of ruins the story a little bit, just from like a
a
lore
lore
perspective,
perspective.
right?
Well,
Because
to
like
be
if you're
fair,
Master
like
Chief,
Master
you kind
Chief
of
got all the valor, dude. Like he
right,
kind
but
of saved the
like
galaxy a couple times.
well,
So you
not
would
only
think,
that, but like he's doing something to help humanity, right? So it's like,
right?
hey, Master Chief, I'd love to give you this rocket launcher, man, but you're just not valorous enough yet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, it's
Like that
true.
part just seems weird to me. Whereas like
No,
the other
I
Halo
know.
games didn't feel that way because they're more linear. So
Right.
like to me, it almost feels like they needed a reason for you to do side stuff, and that was the reason they came up with.
Yeah, they were like, well, we have to. Well, it might have been not only that, they were like, well, we want them to be able to do this, and we want to reward them in some way also.
Right.
So let's. But the nice thing about it is, like, you get, like, say you're fighting those unique bosses, like, you get unique variants of the weapons.
That was what I wanted to ask you next. Did you unlock the sword, the unique
Uh,
sword?
uh, I don't remember. I don't think
It's
I
called like the
did.
duelist blade.
Maybe I did. What's up?
I just don't know what's different about it.
When I saw the
Like
sword that I had, it looked the same as the normal one. So I was like, what's going on here? I don't
mine
know.
was orange and I can't figure out what it was. Like the skewer is pretty easy, right? Like this like the skewer
Yeah.
you unlock is a sniper rifle skewer. That's pretty cool.
Can I just say that, like, I haven't liked the variants so far of the normal weapons. I felt like the variant rocket was worse. I felt like
I
the
don't have the
variant
variant rocket yet.
sniper was, like, to me, I didn't like it.
Is that the one that like
Um,
shoots faster or something?
yeah, it's got like a bigger clip
Hmm.
and it shoots faster, but I feel like the shots aren't powerful.
Okay.
So I'm like, why does this matter? It feels weaker. So
No,
I
that's
was like,
fair.
I'd
That's
rather
fair.
have the 4-shot big shots, I don't know. And then
Four
the
shot, big
rocket just
shot,
feels
dude.
weaker too. I don't know what it was about the rocket that made it worse. One of the things I like about the game is how you can like give the Marines your weapons and then load up a Warthog, like a Razorback.
Yeah, Calvin, my friend Calvin pointed out when he was doing one of the camps that he said, "Man, I really like how like the NPCs are actually useful in this game."
Yeah, it's true. So like many times I loaded up a Razorback with like 5 Marines and me driving, and like I'd give them either all rockets or like all the skewer, and like just drive around and just let them wreck. It was so good. The rockets are my favorite. The skewer, I feel like they can't aim very well. Sometimes it's OP, but like most of the time they're not as good as the rockets, where if they miss, they'll probably hit something and blow it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the with the you know, the explosion. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nutty doing that sometimes. It's really fun. And yeah, it's not a foolproof solution, but it is. So it's not like OP. It you think it is, but it's really not. It's really not OP. Master Chief's OP. But I was playing on normal, by the way. So you're on heroic.
I'm on heroic.
I know Chad beat it on heroic. But you know, from talking to him, it doesn't sound like heroic's that different from normal. I'll have to play heroic to know for sure. But like, I was getting my ass beat on normal.
So I think heroic is probably the easiest heroic. So I'm like, I'm 28% in. I think it's probably the easiest heroic playthrough I've had in the Halo.
Interesting.
And I think that's probably because I maxed out shields early on. So
yeah.
Like,
I feel like normal's the hardest normal I've ever had. Because like to me, normal was always sort of like easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
In
so
Halo,
like,
and easy was like super easy.
Same way. So I just immediately went to heroic.
Yeah.
Just because like.
But you're saying heroic is even
we got a Halo
like
once
weird.
every like. We got a Halo like once every I don't know.
It's
10
been a
years.
while.
Yeah. So I wanted something. I wanted to last a little bit longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm kind of creating.
Sense.
And I don't want to do legendary until I get all skulls because that's what the achievement's for. So I just want heroic, but I think like there are some parts that are hard. Like I will say this, like for example, one of those guys that came up, like the bounty elites or whatever.
Yes.
His name was like Iknukas or something like that. He had like that like bomb blaster, like pillar gun that just shoots like the red rockets that keep coming out like a fan.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he had 4 Jackal sniper boys with him.
Oh,
like that was probably like a 35-minute corpse walk, dude. Just like hoping for checkpoints. So like there are periods where it feels difficult, but overall it doesn't feel that difficult.
Yeah, like the Jackal snipers, you can just one shot in the head.
Yeah, but they also so like on heroic, dude, like they'll do the double tap like constantly.
Oh no,
I know that's how they are on normal, dude. But they'll do the double tap almost constantly. Yeah,
I don't think they've double tapped.
Yeah, so like one shot will get your shields down, and then like if you don't move, like
they'll double
immediately,
tap
immediately they'll just come at you. Get off my tree, dude.
Yeah, it likes your tree a lot, dude. There's a lot of eyes back there. So, yeah, you know, the funny normal was definitely hard in cases. The melee enemies were probably my biggest pain because they'd come in and just beat your ass. The sword guys that were invisible, those are sometimes annoying.
Oh, dude, they're really easy with the threat sensor or whatever the hell.
Yeah, but you know what I hate doing? Switching.
Really?
Yeah, on the keyboard it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 for the different armor abilities. You have to switch to it, and then you have to use it. And like, I don't like doing that.
So on
how do you do it on controller?
It's weird. So like left on the D-pad. Okay.
Well, that's select it.
No.
Or does that use it?
No. So right bumper uses utility. Left bumper uses grenade. So you push left on the D-pad, and then left, up, right, down are your grenade types. Or and then if you press the button again, then it'll select that grenade. So like if you wanted plasma, you would just press left twice. If you wanted like HE grenade, you'd press left and then up.
Yeah.
And then alternatively for the utility, it's right on the D-pad first, and then it's right and then the direction of the thing you want to use.
Interesting.
So it's kind of well done for, you know, having a limited amount of buttons on a controller.
Yeah. Not too bad. I get annoyed though, like for me, like I have to I have to push 2 for the threat sensor, then I have to push Q to use it, then I got to push 1 to get my grapple back.
Well, that's kind of well. I mean,
Maybe
it's
it's
worse
the
on.
same annoyingness
I
with
was
the
gonna say,
controller.
yeah. So like, so like, let's say that I have the grappling hook on, right? So like,
Yeah.
or let's say I have the grappling hook on and I want to use the threat sensor. I have to press right, left, right bumper.
Yeah, to use it.
Because right to bring up the menu, left to select it, then right bumper to use it.
Yeah. And then like if you want to go back to your grapple, you got to hit right and then whatever
And
direction.
then I think it's right again. So like,
Right, right.
yeah.
So you do right, left, bumper, right, right. And now you're back where you were started.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because
exactly
I keep my grapple like selected so I could use it anytime. And yeah, because you know what I really like with the grapple is that ground pound kind of move you get. I don't think you've unlocked
I don't have it yet. I don't have it yet. So right now I have max armor and I just got fast grapple.
Yeah, fast grapple is essential in Halo Infinite. It's like the first thing you should get, unless you care about armor that much. Because like to get around quickly, it's so important to me.
I agree.
You know, it's an open world game. You're moving around quite a bit. I don't even take vehicles half the time.
I've also found out that fast grapple allows me to like cheese mountains a lot easier too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like if I start falling, I can grapple a lot faster. You know what I mean? Kind of catch myself.
You know what's nuts? Like the grapple, like I don't even take vehicles. Do you grapple everywhere? I do.
I do too.
I grapple everywhere. I grapple the trees. I don't know if you have that granular control.
I do. I do. So, sometimes I take vehicles if I'm going to load my boys up with weapons, but that's like the only time.
Yeah, same here. Or if I want the Scorpion tank.
I don't have that one yet.
Yeah.
So
the Scorpion tank's pretty cool.
So as someone who beat it, without spoilers, are you happy with the story?
Yeah. So I liked it. I feel like there is a cliffhanger at the end to where you're like, okay, I want more. And I know we're going to get more. I know more is coming to Infinite later. They said this is going to be the 10-year Halo game where they're going to keep adding on to it. And I'm sure you'll have to pay for that DLC unless you're like a Game Pass player or something like that. But I liked the story.
Are they going to make people decide if they want if they want to spend $20 for a 10-hour campaign expansion or $20 for an armor recolor?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude! Don't even get me started. Don't even get started, dude. Because that's a great point, dude. How much value?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, think about that from a value proposition. It's like, well, of course, the 10 hours is like way more valuable. You know how long I spent on that campaign for my $20 or $10, and then like to pay $20 for a skin and some shit. It's literally $10 for brown right now on the Warthog. It's like, oh, you want brown, bro? $10. You know, do you want blue? $10, dude.
It's always basic because I really like mud flaps, but I'm not spending $10 or $15 on mud flaps.
Fucking mud flaps, dude, and brown.
Like I wish I could unlock them, but all I can unlock in the dude, you. Can I vent about something Halo related really quickly and it has nothing to do with the store? Mm-hmm. It has to do with Spartan customization. I don't know when I'm unlocking customizations, what armor type I can use them with, what armor core I can use them with. I have no idea. As far as I'm concerned, unlocks are useless to me because I don't even know if the armor set I like, I'll be able to use that color on. I don't know if I'll be able to use that attachment on. Like, it is such a bad customization system.
Yeah, I hate it.
Monetization aside, even if everything was free, I still wouldn't know what I could use what on. You know what I mean?
You know what's nuts is like they are doing so
do you kind of feel the same though, or am I just?
We're coming from playing the Master Chief Collection, which is excellent. Master Chief Collection is really well done. Like, people are unlocking stuff. Like, people are complaining all day on the Halo subreddit about Infinite. And it's because, like, dude's like, oh, I don't want to have to grind for the weekly reward. Like, I work, dude. I have a family, dude.
I read that post today where he was like, I didn't realize if this was going to blow up. I figured it would just get downvoted. But I guess you guys all agree with me. And like, it was kind of sad to read the comments because like a lot of the comments were like, yeah, me and my boys already gave up on Infinite and we're back on MCC. It's like, these are Halo fans, right? Like, they're not going to a different game. They're going back to Master Chief Collection.
Yeah. And see, here's another thing, dude. My brother has been playing Infinite multiplayer quite a bit, and he wanted to grind to get the the sniper, which was like the weekly reward last week or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got to the point where
Is
he had
Chad?
the weekly. Yeah, that's Chad. So
The ultimate?
What is it?
You mean the weekly ultimate reward?
Yeah, he wanted the weekly ultimate, so he got the challenge for it, and it was like win like so many games, and that was a lot of games. Like the challenge was like win like 15 games or something, win them. So not like you have to win, not play 15 games. It's already a long time to play that many games. You have to win that many games,
Did
and
he
that's
get
after
the-
you unlocked it. So you had to freaking do the challenges to even unlock
Did he get-
the ultimate.
Did he get the sniper? Did he end up getting it?
No, he didn't. He's like, I can't play this. Josh did. So Josh ended up grinding it out and getting it.
Was it really nice?
I mean, it's cool looking. It's not that nice.
So I have a similar story for you.
Sure.
So I wanted to get a challenge done. Do you remember when like the Chinese set was out and then they had like a Whistle T Ultimate or whatever?
Okay, yeah.
I had 2 challenges left to complete the challenges, right?
Right.
And one of them was something I was never gonna do. It was like look 3 wasps from the air.
Yes.
So I used a swap on that.
Yep.
I got something else ludicrous. Used a swap again, got something else ludicrous. Used another swap, got something ludicrous. 4th swap, got something doable. So
Oh my God, that took you 4
I went through
swaps.
4 swaps before I got something that I felt I could complete.
That's
And
ridiculous.
then when and this was on Sunday night. And
Yeah.
then when I completed when I completed them, I felt so good. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. And I didn't realize there was an ultimate challenge.
Yep.
And this is when they had the Fiesta in.
Yep.
My ultimate challenge was like get 10 or 13. Anyway, both of them are ridiculous. Killing sprees in
Yeah.
separate Fiesta games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I have a day left.
Yeah.
You know what
Dude,
I mean?
That's
Like,
what I mean. Like you have to do this, like to get the ultimate rewards, you have to be playing Halo a lot.
yeah.
You can't
It's
be
like
a casual. You have to be like playing the motherfucker like a lot.
it's like
And that sucks, dude.
you're
How-
giving me random weapons, and I have a day to get like 15
Dude,
killing
it's
sprees.
like, oh, you're it's like if you're a working adult who fucking doesn't have time to grind for this shit, guess what, dude? The only way you're gonna look cool is by forking out cash, dude. You better
Well,
pay
I
a
think,
$20 skin ultimate pack, dude.
I think someone in the comment section said that like you're the type of person who they're targeting the real money store for.
Yeah.
Because you're going to realize that you don't have the time to get it
Yeah.
through other methods. So
Right.
you're going to swipe that credit card if you want it.
Yeah, that's some bullshit, right?
And so it's like they're kind of scratching both itches, like they're being really greedy, right? Like they're having the
Super
sweaty,
greedy.
they're like having like really difficult challenges. So the sweaty boys will just ramp up their metrics and just play Halo because the unlocks are so hard to get. And then you have the people who can't be sweaty but have a family and income, and they'll just swipe the
Yeah.
credit card. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like
and that's what's crazy,
They're really
dude, like-
playing both edges, both edges here. So
It's nutty because, like, you know, Halo is just now the exciting game to play. My buddies are still playing it. They're semi sweaty for working adults playing this
Yeah.
game, and they're not like Chad was just like, I'm not doing this shit, dude.
Yeah.
And like that's crazy
I
to
think-
hear from my brother who was like right
Bro.
there. He unlocked that. He had the freaking challenge unlocked. He was
Bro,
gonna
I-
do it, and then he was
For-
like, "There's no way."
For perspective, Eric's brother has like 300 multiplayer games played already.
Yeah, dude. He's been playing a lot.
He's
in my
serious
opinion.
about it, and he thinks it's too much. I just
Yeah.
wanted to put it in perspective. You know what I mean?
It's true. He was just like, "There's no way I'm gonna win this many games."
like Halo's been out like what, a month? That's
Yeah.
300 games a month, and he thinks it's too much.
Yeah, it's
know what I
just
mean?
not
Like-
balanced at all. Like it's really gross.
Like if he kept that up, bro,
Yeah,
that would be 3,600 Halo matches a year.
it's just it's nuts. There's no way. So I don't know, man. Like I've been having a lot of fun with the. It's just the monetization, the customization. It's all borked.
Yeah.
They need to go back to the drawing board with it. 343 has been really defensive, and I have no idea why, dude. Like
No one like in my opinion, they really don't have a position to defend. You know
no,
what I mean?
it's funny because it's like they're playing both sides. They're like one guy's like, oh well, we're feeling it too, and then like in the same breath they'll be like, you know, did you think that we didn't think it was a good idea to not have a Slayer playlist? It's like, well then why didn't you, motherfucker? Like There's the Slayer playlist. They just now got to the point where they added stuff. We got Team SWAT now, which is fantastic, by the way.
Real good. I mean, SWAT's always been one of my favorite Halo modes.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, I love SWAT.
Yeah, I was playing. They call it Tactical Slayer, and it's so fun. So they finally added some playlists after we had to bitch, right? But like, wow, talk about late. Talk about like, why on launch you didn't have this shit? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and like the game was supposed to technically be out in 2020, right?
Yeah, and it's broke as fuck. Custom games are broke as fuck, dude. I don't know if you know about that.
No,
like we tried to make some
games.
Dude, they make it's so bad. Like you can't customize your equipment. Like you can't make it so you start with a grapple or anything like that. Like you can't.
What?
Yeah.
That seems like really basic stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's super basic. And not only that, dude, but it's really hard to make the custom games. You can't just select a map. It's really weird. It's really weird. And you can't save them. Like it says you can save your games so you can load them later, like your custom games, but it wasn't working. It's all borked, dude. I cannot believe how bad it is. It's no.
You know what I thought was really funny and like it kind of really stuck in my head?
Yeah.
I mean, first off, games of yore were so complete compared to the shells we get now. Like it blows my mind.
That's what
just how lazy
disgusting.
developers.
That's why I'm not gonna like hold back against 343.
What bothers me about 343 a lot is like one of the reasons that they gave of why we didn't have Slayer in the beginning and stuff was because of UI limitations.
Man,
and then like one of the comments one of the comments was like, you've designed a Halo game that's supposed to take us into the next 10 years and literally on the month of launch you're already limited by your user interface.
Yes.
Like what kind of excuse is that?
That's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard, dude. Tell me that the UI isn't one of the very fucking first things you design when like implementing your game, dude. And you probably had like a group of people like that's all they did was the UI. And Infinite's been in development for how long? And it's had an extra year of development. And you're telling me the UI? Dude, we're not dumb, dude. We're not all game devs, but we're not fucking dumb.
Yeah, dude, you know, UI limitations prevented us from giving you a Slayer playlist.
Dude, how hard
Although,
is
I'll tell you
UI?
right now, like, I don't know if you remember it, bro, but like now that we have these playlists in Infinite, just boot up Master Chief Collection and tell me how much better that UI is for picking your gameplay up.
I did. I booted up MCC and I was like, this feels like a fucking game, dude. This is the
it does.
Dude. MCC feels like a fucking full course meal, like a turkey dinner, dude.
You called me out because like you called me out because like 3 days after Infinite came out, I went back to MCC and I'm like, I think it's better. And you're like,
it is better.
Dude, it's a lot
MCC
better.
Is better. It's better from every perspective. Any measurable perspective. The only thing you might like about Infinite is it's new, it's fresh, it's got good gameplay, the mechanics feel great. But MCC is fucking way better, dude. And guess what? The UI, fucking, it's not limiting at all in MCC, dude.
No, think about how much
Halo
more
games
I was going to say,
in there.
like if you wanted to play SWAT, okay?
Yeah.
You literally have to scroll through the same list as like Big Team Battle on Infinite, as Fiesta, as like bot matches. It's literally just a vertical scroll.
Yeah.
You go to MCC, it's how many players you want. What game do you want? What game mode do you want? Like it's so well laid out, bro. It's so well laid out. Like,
it's thick.
It's honestly like some other team made MCC. I mean, they probably did, right? But it's literally like
the only thing preventing me from going back to MCC is like the resistance from my friends, because like they're so like set on Infinite. You know what I mean? Like they were really
right here, dude.
Halo.
I'm gonna play MCC after this podcast, dude.
Well, I'm playing Halo Infinite right now. Like I'm having fun with the game, especially because they just came out with the playlists. But it's just disheartening where we're at right now with.
You have to catch up to me on MCC anyway because you barely played it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. To be fair, I've played a lot of Halo back in the day, and I just don't really feel like I'm getting much novel experience out of MCC because I've already kind of done it all.
I just love it.
And right now, like Infinite's like the new fresh hotness, so I'm having a good time. Like, I don't know. You know what it is? I feel like Infinite was sort of designed with PC in mind, whereas like most of the Master Chief Collection was console first. So it doesn't really feel like it plays all that perfectly on PC. Now you're playing on console, so you don't care.
Controller. Yeah, it feels great, dude. It feels fantastic.
Yeah, so obviously it feels. I mean, I have MCC on the console. You know, Also, I bought it there first before it was on PC.
Right.
And I played the shit out of it when it was on console. So when it came to PC, it was like, okay, cool, it's here now. I played it, and obviously Reach came out, and I played it. But I want them to bring Halo 5 to MCC. That's what I hope for next.
I do too.
Just to
I kind of
out.
I kind of just wish that they would say, we're just going to make Halo.
Just
and
Halo. Yeah. Why don't they do that, dude? Like,
and then
why isn't Infinite just launchable through the MCC?
Yeah. Even change the name. Even change the name because like Master Chief Collection doesn't make sense anymore because we have Reach and ODST in it.
Dude, why didn't they just like roll MCC into Infinite? And then Halo Infinite would literally be all the Halos.
And the name makes sense then, right? Because it's Infinite Halo. You know what I mean? Like
Infinite Halo, all the Halos in one package.
Yeah, I mean, like if you just wanted to play, like you can do an MCC. If you just wanted to play,
if they did that, think about this, dude. If they did that, then it would make sense because then their UI limitation bullshit.
I think the only reason why they don't do it, and this is a hot take, is monetization. Because they can't go back and now put that toothpaste back in the tube of everything being free and everything being customizable in MCC.
Yeah.
Whereas if they develop a new platform, they can now charge on the new platform. But you can't really retroactively change how MCC works because you know what I mean?
They could monetize MCC with new stuff. So like they could bring
but like I feel like if
for.
They've had a game that's been like, there's not even a premium battle pass in MCC, bro. Like, everything in MCC you unlock just by playing.
Yeah.
I love it. It feels so good.
So you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Right. I feel like as soon as that gets one microtransaction, 343 is fucking dead to everyone. You know what I mean? Because that's a really scummy move. Whereas if they make a new game and they monetize the new game, it's less scummy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's a rough situation. This monetization thing is, what I personally think that Halo going free to play was a bad idea.
This is going to sound really shitty, but I blame a lot of modern day gaming problems on League of Legends.
No, you're right, dude.
League of Legends has told everyone that it's okay to make a DJ Sona skin and charge $45.
Yeah, I own that skin too.
I do too, but I I realize I'm part of the problem. But like devs have come to the conclusion, it's like why would I risk why would I risk bankruptcy? Why would I make all these games? Why would I hire a staff when all I really need is one programmer and one art director?
Yeah.
And I could make a core game and then hire a staff to support that free game. And then people are going to spend the cost of a full game to look slightly different in that game. That's what League of Legends has taught developers.
This is why I wanted to like Dota 2, because Dota 2 respects you way more than League does. Because
I don't know enough about their monetization to speak on that.
Well, the cool thing about Dota 2 is like you don't have to. I don't think you have to unlock the characters. I think you just get them all, right? Like
maybe
in League, you have to unlock each individual champion. You have to either pay or like use the IP or whatever. That's the way it used to be. I don't know if they changed it.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, that took a while to unlock everything. Whereas Dota just gave you all the characters.
Yeah.
You could buy the cosmetics, and you could unlock cosmetics for free too. And like a lot of the cosmetics were in the Steam marketplace, and you can trade them and stuff too, and get like really cheap ones. And I don't know. I just felt like it was a little bit, and you can customize in Dota too. You can customize individual parts. Like you can change like just the weapon or like this piece of armor. Like there was more, it was like customization slots versus an entire skin. So it was kind of a little bit more, I wanted to like it better because I just felt like it respected you more. But I don't feel like League had a bad monetization model, but it was all cosmetic, right? I mean, you could buy the new champion, but like for the most part, if you're up to date on League, you probably have all the champions anyway. So like I know personally, I don't think I've paid any Riot points to actually unlock a champion. I think I just did it through the in-game points, and I had all the champions that way. But like skins, like I've spent over $1,000 on skins, and so I'm part of the problem, right? Like I kind of endorsed it by paying, and like $1,000 in $60 games is quite a few games. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
That's where we're at right now, dude. Like we paid. And if people didn't pay, like that's why games are this way now, dude. People are paying. That's it's bullshit, but people are paying, dude.
Yeah, and I kind of take League, as like starting that trend. So
yeah,
I'm salty towards League for that.
Anyway, dude, I think we got to wrap it up. What do you think?
I think so too, man. I think that's good.
Dude. Anyway, dude, thanks for listening and watching the Technosthetic Podcast. It's been another episode. We're wrapping up the year of 2020. I guess we're going to 2021. We're doing another podcast next week, dude.
I think I can swing it in, yeah.
I think we got one next week, and then the following week, if we want. And then that'll be 2021, dude. That'll be a wrap. Yeah. Anyway, dude.
We'll feel like a year in review, dude.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Anyway, guys, check you guys next week on the podcast.